Out of everything that I am, these are the following two things I don't consider myself to be: a cynic and a pessimistic person. But with that said, I can assure you that AI is going to blow over.
Yeah, yeah.
Artificial intelligence has been introduced by a lot of companies over the last few years. Right now, we have AI based browsers, we have AI applications, the AI marketplace is getting enormous. And when you look at the numbers, you look at the million and billion dollar industry that every AI company is becoming right now, everything seems great because you understand, you know what? I think AI is the future. Sure, I might be out of a job for a while, but maybe I might find a new job in AI. But what we as people don't understand right now is that there are certain consequences when it comes to inflation. And right now, AI is going through a stage of inflation, which very likely is going to blow over very soon. But before I even tell you how that is going to happen and how all of this is going to work and what the next 2 years are going to bring, I'll introduce you to something which all of you will very likely be introduced with already, and that is crypto. Bitcoin was introduced in 2009, and since that time, we have seen a lot of growth happening in the crypto industry. In its current stage and form, crypto is doing well. We have a lot of cryptocurrencies, we have a lot of exchanges that do well, we have a lot of people trading, spending money, sending money, receiving money through crypto. There are a ton of businesses associated with crypto as well who do really well, who have created a very successful market for themselves. And right now, we're living in 2025. If you see and if you understand, Bitcoin was introduced in 2009. There's a lot of gap between the introduction and the settlement of the crypto industry. While it was introduced in 2009, right now it's beginning to settle in 2025. And during all of this time, you and I are both aware of billions of dollars worth of scams, billions of dollars worth of bad money that was associated with crypto, that people lost a lot of fortune doing this, which resulted in a lot of bad reputation for the entire crypto industry. In fact, before crypto even became a popular thing, there were so many things that were associated with it that it gave it a lot of bad press. We had NFTs, we had meme coins, we had multiple scams, we had industry not being trustworthy, and there was no top leadership in terms of crypto. Nobody understood how crypto works, and the people who did, nobody listened to them. And all of these things led to companies and people spending so much money unnecessarily and without having an idea about what the implications are going to be, that what happened at the end was that a lot of people lost a lot of money and it created a lot of negative impressions around the crypto industry. Right now, people are beginning to understand the crypto industry a little bit, but still, there are a ton of people who have lost a ton of money. Now, let's talk about AI. When you match a few things that crypto had, you can realize that a few certain things and common themes also follow in the space of AI. Right now, AI has a ton of apps, is oversaid and overused. And a lot of companies are pushing themselves towards the use of AI and towards pushing AI ultimately to you. And all of this seems pretty suspicious. A few years ago, we didn't even have ChatGPT. And right now, every single company is pushing themselves to AI in one way or another. So, what's really going on? What is happening? And the billion dollar industry and the billions of dollars that are being spent on AI, are they actually going to have some sort of a positive implication? Are they actually going to pay off for the people? It's not going to happen. And trust me when I say this, it's not going to happen because of the fact that everybody is extremely tired of AI. Whenever somebody sells you a wallet for 10 bucks, you need it because you understand that you need a place to hold your cards and your cash. But when every single company around the world is selling you wallets of different shapes and sizes, but ultimately they do the same thing, you're going to be extremely tired and most likely you're not going to buy any of them. Currently, you have ChatGPT, you have Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, DeepSeek, and all of these different AI models that companies are creating. But how many of them do you really use? Right now, Google and other companies are giving you 1 year worth of trials for free. How exactly do you use that? Okay, you might be using it for your assignments, your papers, your different kinds of requirements. That's great. But if I give you subscriptions to all of these 5 modules at the same time, how different is the feedback going to be like? Is Gemini going to give you a completely different thesis as compared to ChatGPT? And is Claude.ai going to give you a completely different generation or an output as compared to Perplexity? I don't think so. I have used all of these models and I very much understand that all of them ultimately provide a very similar kind of a feedback. Right now, there are a ton of apps that are being created on AI. There are apps that can help you run. There are apps that will help you cook. There are apps that will help you do whatever. There are apps that will help you do better project management. There are apps that will help you with your productivity. There are apps for every single thing that you ever wanted, and all of them are based on AI. The backend of all of these apps is very likely based on OpenAI APIs. And when you realize that, you understand that ultimately you're just using ChatGPT in different versions and different forms and different applications. Let's talk about an app for productivity for a second. Let's say that you have downloaded an app to help you understand how you can spend your day, how you can dissect your entire schedule for the day, and how you can be more productive. So you're spending $10 on an app like that. But then you realize that you can get any of these things done through any AI based models. There's really not a lot of difference when you really do it, just to have a little bit more structure with your AI. And that is something which is extremely concerning, considering the fact that every single AI app right now that is being created in the same way. And when you understand that your entire basket of AI is filled with these apps, it's filled with a lot of money, and it's filled with all of these different ecosystems that is all based on AI. When AI loses its demand, everything falls over. There's nothing left for you to do. There's nothing left for companies to spend on. So, sure, you might also raise a question that it's very likely not going to happen. But let me ask you, how much did Mark Zuckerberg and the entire Meta company spend on Metaverse? In case you don't know, it was around $60 billion. And just like that, there were a ton of other companies who were also spending similar kind of money on the building and development of Metaverse. We were introduced to the fact that you'll have different kinds of food chains and all of these big stores in Metaverse. And right now, nobody even talks about that. So my question to you again is that if we just look at Metaverse and how much Mark Zuckerberg has spent on the building of Metaverse, it's around $60 billion. So where did that money go? Where is that money? Do you think that he is somebody who has spent that money out of his own pocket? Or do you think that all of that money is consolidated and spent by the people who consume all of these products? I would very much assume that the latter is the answer. And that is something which also should be concerning when it comes to AI as well. Currently, there's a lot of money that is attached to AI. There's a lot of money that is tied from different companies to AI. There's a lot of money being used on the development of AI and different AI models. And while that technically and from an outer perspective does seem great, but the problem is that ultimately it's very likely going to blow over because the money that is required for AI to work and do really well, especially well in the sense of what people expect it to do, is not going to happen with the kind of money that is being spent right now. Even though there are billions of dollars being spent on the use and development of AI, it's still not enough. The supply and demand of AI right now are extremely mismatched. The supply is extremely high and the demand is very, very low. And by every single day, it's decreasing. And people don't have the patience right now to wait for another AI model just so it could perform a little bit better than the previous one. It's not going to work, and if it blows over, there's going to be a lot of negative implications around this. I hope it never happens, but I very likely think that it's going to happen.